Those who actually cast ballots disagree with these reprehensible female hosts on The View. Most Americans have no idea what they're talking about, and they need assistance immediately. Due to the abundance of low-quality options, it was a poor decision. This cannot be changed at this time. Despite the fact that there is currently no way to handle it, they insist on saying that they will. So, what's their plan? Individuals from the new media who satisfy our criteria, as well as those of the U.S. Secret Service, will be granted credentials to enter the White House building by my team. Alright, could you repeat what she said? She basically said that you might assume that things have calmed down since we haven't checked in on the mayhem emanating from The View for some time. Indeed, they continue to play at a high volume and make the same politically incorrect jokes that they always do. It was successful the previous time, however, this time it will not be. As an unexpected pairing, Bill Maher and Karoline Leavitt severely silenced them. Without a doubt, it was crucial. What sort of wild ideas did this season's female hosts on The View have? How did Bill and Karoline reply with just the right amount of candor and humor? No need to fret. We've got every single one of the jaw-dropping moments covered. Stay put, because this one is going to be crazy. Responding to speech you disagree with more speech is the surest way to overcome this relentless, harsh, zero-tolerance attitude that seeks to punish and erase anyone found saying the wrong thing. You may be asking why, out of the blue, Bill Maher is now urging his viewers to stop being so divisive politically. The ladies of The View don't appear to approve of Maher's gradual shift to the right. For what reason did they eventually snap? True to form, he recently dined with none other than the ex-president. Whoopi Goldberg was so enraged with Maher for dining with the man they view as the public enemy #1 that she refused to even mention his name on a recent show. Pay attention, take him seriously and mean what he says. In my opinion, it is unnecessary. If we didn't say that Joe Biden is competent, we'd be lying. He is obviously competent and knows how to do this. Plus, his endless ramblings make it impossible to argue with him. I am Trump, I am Trump. However, could I suggest one more thing? It all started with Whoopi's impolite response. A vicious assault on Bill Maher's character followed. The idea that Maher had crossed a boundary by having dinner with the man they had been critical of for so long was too much for her to bear. This was an elaborate hoax, not merely a dinner for Whoopi and the gang. Naturally, they believed that the awful sin of encountering the devil could never be atoned for by reason, humor, or forthright discussion. You need to be more cautious. Everyone here would rather not have to go through this. We aren't doing this merely because it makes us feel good. With this, we intend to protect our loved ones from harm. Avoid everyone if you can help it. Anyone who knows Bill Maher would expect him to keep this issue alive. He actually did it on Bill Maher's most recent real-time show. In his characteristic combination of sharp wit and pointed remarks, he launched an attack on Whoopi Goldberg and everyone else who was taken aback by his unexpected visit to the White House. As he gradually dismantled their ire, Maher made it crystal clear that he isn't seeking or needing their blessing. Typical Maher, courageous, forthright, and exceptionally bright. You are aware that 12 days ago I had supper with President Trump. There has to be a more productive way to kill time than hurling insults at each other from 3,000 meters away, so my buddy Kid Rock organized the dinner. Naturally, I must inform those individuals who believe this to be a summit meeting that they are completely mistaken. I was supposed to sign something, wasn't I? It is not within my power. There is a man named Trump who holds the title of most powerful person on earth. There isn't a single organization that I'm responsible for, with the possible exception of some moderates who think there has to be a more effective way to govern this nation than perpetual animosity. Before he spoke out against Whoopi Goldberg, which I will play shortly, Maher made one thing crystal clear: this is still America where democracy matters. He reassured everyone that just because you disagree doesn't mean you have to hate each other or resort to physical conflict. You shouldn't lose your sanity just because some people think differently than you. It's called civil discourse, but after last week's news, the ladies on The View appeared to have abandoned it. He was fighting for more than just himself. He was fighting for the possibility of peaceful disagreement. Is that not correct? Not to Whoopi, though. In response to what she perceived as an assault on her person, she fought back against Maher. Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class? Even as I say it, I can feel the sphincters of millions of lefties tightening. Oh my God, Bill, are you going to say something nice about him? My statement will be this: what transpired, how you feel about it is entirely up to you. If you still feel like you need more Trump hate, I'm sorry. Even more embarrassingly, Whoopi slipped that she secretly wished the vice president had accidentally asked Maher out to dinner instead of Trump by saying that Trump was like Kamala Harris. If that were the case, she would not have flinched. She probably would have organized the after-party on her own. Whoopi would have thunderclapped in approval if Maher had complimented Trump in the same way to Kamala. His remarks were interpreted as treasonous though, because he was Trump. As Whoopi just made plain to everyone, this whole thing was a sham. My topic of choice this week is Whoopi Goldberg, since I received numerous texts alleging that she assaulted me the week prior. Oh Bill, I understand, everyone said. Good karma is treating you well. Okay, the concept of karma does not exist. Please stay with me until next week's show, when I'll go into more detail about this. Move on from that. On a regular basis, she attacks me. Stupid is a word she uses frequently. They unintentionally go in. This is precisely why Bill Maher is so entertaining to me. He is a walking, talking billboard for free speech. Whoopi Goldberg made fun of him on national TV. But he still refuses to back down when the anger machine is turned on. Maher remains steadfast in his belief. Given the widespread criticism and calls for her resignation that followed Whoopi's outburst, it is admirable that she displayed such courage. But Maher didn't act helpless. Rather, he stood more firmly behind his convictions. He's one of a kind because of that. Sorry, but life is random. He also dropped bombs before he left. When lions devour a big game shooter after an elephant steps on him, there's only one way to describe the hilarious scene. Hilarious. My body aches since that. Is that so? Bill Maher. He compared Whoopi Goldberg to a hunter and himself to a lion. Indeed, what you heard was accurate. It doesn't matter how you feel about Maher. He has the ability to reverse a line. He was correct to tell the truth. Goldberg stormed in like a ferocious hunter, guns blazing, prepared to assassinate the suspect. On the other hand, Maher altered the plot after being cast in the role of the hunted. Rather than fleeing, he returned fire, surprising her with his cunning and precision. Lastly, the shooter appeared terrified, not the lion, as he hobbled away. While Maher was slowing things down, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt was only just beginning. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country: the public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech. The corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS. That much is certain. Leavitt is spot on. The moral decay that wokeness brought about in the modern era has affected nearly every aspect of society and has been detrimental. What began as progress and fellowship has devolved into an intractable power of censorship, discord, and identity politics. These days, news websites just make stuff up instead of reporting the news. Thoughts are produced rather than taught at universities. Rather than focusing on practical solutions, parties prioritize moral signals. The medical field is not immune to the ideological obstacles that are threatening human safety and scientific progress. This cultural shift is a complete and utter catastrophe, not merely an insignificant one. Being awake is causing more harm than good to our society. Whoopi Goldberg stands out among other opinionated hosts because she embodies the philosophy that is tainting public discourse. Her steadfast backing of woke dogma exemplifies how easily powerful people can silence dissenting voices by utilizing their celebrity status. She contributes to the cancel culture that is dividing society rather than trying to start genuine conversations. After that, Karoline Leavitt exacerbated the tension between her and Whoopi. Interestingly, Democrats, Joe Biden included, are perpetually claiming that President Trump poses a danger to democracy. However, they are the ones who would like to see him imprisoned despite his lack of guilt. That could end very badly for us. That is evident to voters, which is why Trump remains in office. Since, let's be honest, the furious judges had been do this for years, Karoline Leavitt ripped into them. The women of The View have consistently served their devoted audience a diet of deceit, spin and half-truths as feel-good remarks. Consider how they lauded Joe Biden as America's greatest treasure until it became apparent that he was suffering from severe mental illness. Then there's Kamala Harris, who was revered as democracy's savior despite her tendency to use a lot of buzzwords and struggle to form coherent sentences. All that glitz, glamour and high-pitched laughter is just for show. The absence of Leavitt, however, was a positive development. She stood firm, collected her facts, and exposed their lies to an audience of people all across the nation. Goldberg attempted a more conventional response, but Leavitt's comment became famous. The mistake is that there's too much BS floating around, and now it's out of our hands. Despite the fact that there is currently no way to handle it, they insist on saying that they will. So what's their plan? If a press applicant meets our standards and those of the U.S. Secret Service, my team will review their application and grant them access passes to the White House complex. As Leavitt pointed out, it's hypocritical for a woman to advocate for tolerance and unity while simultaneously becoming upset when an ally of a dislikable former president has a meal together. A true leader, she emphasized, must stand firm for their principles and refuse to bend to the will of the masses. Going global wasn't the only thing that was involved. It served as a rude awakening. The foundation of unbridled woke frenzy was eroded with each truth bomb she dropped. Karoline Leavitt and Bill Maher's finale performance was a masterclass in the show's use of stage drama and anger. Those who shouted the loudest about tolerance don't necessarily practice what they preach, as Whoopi Goldberg's wrath over a single dinner demonstrated. Together, Maher and Leavitt ripped through the media elite's lies. Leavitt came in strong and Maher stood firm. This was more than just a brief title, it reflected the spirit of the moment. As more Americans gain insight, the power of shame and spin begins to wane. The truth is fighting back against the shifting tide. The program for today has concluded. To get more videos like this, hit the like button and subscribe if you enjoy direct, strong comments. Spread the word to your friends. Take it easy and we'll catch up with you when you return.